Hello, guys. Hello, Vanessa.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, my dear? I missed you last week.
Yes, I'm moving um, of
To a new.
house.
Ah, jeez,
How
that is a
how can
lot
I
of
say
work.
this?
Moving out to a new
I'm
place.
moving
Moving
out.
out.
Yes.
Eesh, that's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. But have you already moved or not yet?
Yes, I moved it last Friday, but my apartment is yet in rebuilding,
You are renovating, rebuilding your apartment.
renovate.
Okay, I see. Oscar, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Alberto. I'm fine. And you? How
Good.
was your weekend?
It was busy, yes, but it was
Yeah.
for the first time. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. I
It's
had a
it's
very,
it's it, it's good or not?
yeah, it was very good indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
For a
Yeah.
change, yes, for a change, it was a good.
Okay.
Okay. I was without sleeping for almost 50 hours, but I was very
Only,
happy.
only.
Yes,
Yeah. Wow.
because I finished your class on Friday, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
when I finished all the classes was like here 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Then I took a shower, I got changed, and I went to Brussels airport.
Hmm.
From Brussels airport, I took a bus to Charleroi, another airport. Okay?
Okay.
It's about an hour south of Brussels. And then from there, I took a plane to Bergamo. That's about an hour south of Milan.
Okay.
And I got to Bergamo was like 6:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I was without sleeping. And then I took a bus. I went to Milano. I got to Milan at about almost 8 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, as a good half Italian, half Brazilian, I had a cappuccino and a croissant for breakfast. And
Of course,
yes,
Alberto.
yes. And then that kind of woke me up a little.
Yeah.
And then I went to a religious ceremony at the Duomo in Milano. Okay, it's okay. It was very nice. Okay, half Latin, half Italian. And then I went to visit a lot of places in Milano. I had an aperitivo at it's called Navili. Navili is a very interesting place in Milano. It's like Porto Madeiro. Remember, you mentioned something about Buenos Aires?
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's very similar, Oscar. You have a canal and you have bars and restaurants on both sides.
Okay, sure.
And I was surprised to see the. Yes, it's in Milano. It's called Navili.
Navile.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have the Vecchio Navili and the Nuovo Navili, okay? But it's the same. The one is next to the other. It's a very good place. A lot of good restaurants with a lot of seafood.
There was many people.
That is the interesting thing. It was packed. A lot of people. A lot of people. And I was surprised because the number of cases of people infected with COVID-19 in Lombardia is very high again. It's
Yes.
more than 80,000 people. Okay. About 2 months ago, it was 2,000. So it has, let's say, multiplied 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Very,
but
very
every,
dangerous. Very,
but
very dangerous.
everybody wearing masks, everyone, okay, with masks and sanitizers everywhere. To enter any place, you needed to sanitize yourself. To enter the Duomo, they checked your temperature. Okay, so I don't know, but it was okay. And then when it was about 8 o'clock at night, I took a train back to Torino, and I was trying to not to sleep because the train was not Torino was not going to be the last stop. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I sleep here, I'm going to wake up in Genova.
Yeah,
Understand?
yeah.
So I was all the time like, I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep.
Wow, wow.
Yes. So I remember that Friday morning I had gotten up at 8 o'clock. And I went to sleep yesterday Saturday was almost 11 o'clock at night. So from
Wow.
8 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning on Friday, that's a long time without sleeping.
Yeah, you didn't sleep one day, yeah?
Yeah,
Friday to Saturday, yeah?
no sleep.
Yeah.
Yes. But when I got here in Torino, I crashed. Okay. Yes.
I have idea.
Yes. And I crashed on top of the blankets, everything. I just poofed. And I woke up in the middle of the night because it was very cold.
Turn off. It's over. Turn off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah.
But it was a great weekend. Okay.
Okay.
Some aperitivos, of course, a lot of gelatos. Okay?
Oh.
Is it cold in Italy, teacher?
I'm sorry?
Is it cold in Italy?
It's amazing, okay? It's cold here. The season changed. You don't believe the drop in the temperature. And the streets are already covered by the leaves of trees because it's fall, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like before I went to Belgium, the temperature here was every day 30, 34, 30, 34, every day. Now it's 13, 12, 13,
Wow.
12.
Big difference.
Extreme. I think it's too big, okay?
Yeah.
This is not good, okay? All right. Let's try to finish what we have already started and we can go to the next part.
Yeah.
We have already talked, as far as I remember, about all the advantages. Oh, finally, Gloria is here. I think the grandchildren were at home. Okay, we have already talked about the advantages of telecommuting. Do you remember some of them? The flex hours, what else? Advantages.
Yes.
Do you remember? Let's just refresh the memory. What are the advantages of telecommuting? Flex hours?
Company save money.
No, that's for the company. They can save money. Yes. Okay.
More time with the family.
The family.
Yeah.
Yes. More time with the family. Do you
Cost
remember?
savings.
Hello, Maria.
Hello, teacher.
I was worried about
Descubro Mundo send me the wrong access.
link.
Yeah.
Really?
Me too. Me too.
And where did you get
I
the
was
right?
The link,
waiting.
the advanced class.
Yes.
Yes.
In
The girls
Telegram.
are Chris.
There
Yes.
are links in Telegram.
Yes. The Telegram, yes, I put it there, but I didn't
Yeah.
have time to send the emails. No, I didn't have time. If that is my fault, I'm sorry for that, but I didn't have
But
time.
you sent us the by
Telegram.
Telegram.
It's the link. It's okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I asked the girls to send the email because today I have been very busy. And then I told them, I don't have time to send personal emails to everyone. Can you send the link, especially to the ones from the intermediate? And they said, no problem. And then they sent the wrong link.
Yeah.
All right. So, and disadvantages. What are some of the disadvantages?
Isolation.
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 Security problems.
Security problems.
Security problems.
The difficult to promotion in company. Yeah.
Yes. Because if you are not there, okay,
Yes.
yes.
The
Out of
supervisor
sight.
don't see you. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
possible.
out of sight, out of
Yeah.
mind. Remember
Yes.
this expression? I told you it was a good expression to be learned, out of
Yes.
sight, out of mind. Okay?
Yes, out of sight, out of mind, yeah.
And I think we stopped at the last and probably one of the most delicate
Yes.
disadvantage, the legal vulnerability. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about, yeah,
Yes.
this situation.
Who is liable for an accident that you have at company? You see, not even Carol, that is a legal lawyer, she knows the answer to this, okay?
Yes.
This is still a big problem. So only to finalize this, let's see how it's possible to institute a telecommuting program and try to make it successful, okay? So, Gloria, can you read this first part for us, please, until the word on-site presence?
Experts cite several key elements in creating and maintaining a successful telecommuting policy in your business. First, business owners and or managers should make sure that such a program will actually benefit their company's ability to efficiently address its various operational needs. For example, some positions require an extensive on-site presence.
Okay,
This range,
thank you. No, you can stop there. Thank you. Any question about this first part? I broke. In your paper, it's not broken. I broke it on the screen, you see? Is there any question about this?
No.
No,
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
clear. It's clear.
Yes. Oscar, can you read the other part? These
Sure.
range
These range from management positions to those in which face-to-face communication with clients or other members of the workforce is imperative. Consultants urge employers to consider telecommuting proposals on a position-by-position basis, rather than adopting one-size-fits-all parameters.
Okay. Understand what they mean by these one-size-fits-all parameters?
Yes.
no.
No.
Yeah.
One
That
size
means
fits all.
The
Yes.
same rule is for all.
applies to everyone. Exactly, Regina. Good understanding. That's it. You can't apply the same rule to everyone, Gloria. Understand? You have to analyze case by case, position by position. Okay?
Yes.
So if you do that, it may be successful. You cannot just say from tomorrow on, everyone works at home. It's gonna be chaotic. Okay? It's not simple like that. Okay? That's the idea here. Because this thing, one size fits all, for me, never fits. I don't know about you. Okay? Every time I heard this expression, no, one size fits all, I would look, it doesn't fit me. Thank you. Okay?
We are different people, no?
Exactly. Yes. So you can't just adopt the same policy for everyone. Okay? Regina, can you read this next paragraph for us? Companies should also conduct.
Companies should also conduct extensive research before buying and implementing new technologies necessary to institute a telecommuting program. Information technology personnel can be particularly useful is shaping program policies and anticipating remote workplace needs of teleworkers. In addition, you should consider the impact of telecommuting on other departments, but in terms of operational efficiency and morally.
Morale. Okay, I'd like to make a note here. It's very important not to confuse personnel with personal.
Okay.
Do you know the difference?
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
Okay, every big company has a personnel department. This that is responsible for hiring new people, providing benefits for the employees.
Yes.
Okay, this is
Okay.
personnel. And personal is that
it's
belongs to
a
you.
human resource, yeah?
Human
Like-
resource, yes, like
Yes,
human
like it's-
resource.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
HNR, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, usually the personnel department is inside of the H&R department, okay? And personal is something that belongs to you. It's my personal computer, okay?
Okay.
It's personal. Has nothing to do, in Portuguese, the problem here is because in Portuguese, there's only one word. In English, you have two words,
Yes.
personnel and personal,
Okay.
all right?
All right.
All right.
And
Teacher,
the
personal, what is this?
That belongs to you. Like your personal, do you have your
yeah,
personal computer?
Personal things, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, teacher. Okay.
Yes. Okay, that's personal. And personnel, no. Personnel is in a company, all right?
Okay, right. Thanks.
No problem.
And the only use for personnel is in that case?
Yes, Vanessa, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, okay? Personnel is always in a company, okay? And personal is yours. Vanessa, since you spoke out, can you read this part? Business owners.
Business owners should draft specific guidelines and policies
Policies, yeah, don't
Policy.
confuse. Policy with police.
policies for any telecommuting program. These policies may
Delineate.
delineate reporting guidelines, deliver schedules for completing and submitting work, submitting work, select hours during which employee guarantees
Availability.
availability, employee performance
Evaluation criteria.
evaluation criteria, and telecommuting work option evaluation criteria.
Yes.
Wow.
A lot of difficult words, but not
Yeah.
difficult to understand. But this is probably the reason why we can have many problems. Many companies, because of the pandemic, simply told, well, you don't have to come to work anymore. You can start working from home. But without outlining specific guidelines for this, understand?
Yes, yes.
It was like, okay, tomorrow you don't have to come, stay home, work from there. Okay, but at what time? No, just do your job. No, it's not like this. Okay, like one of our students, one of our classmates, Tiago, he works for Bosch. He told me that Bosch outlined the specific guidelines. They cannot, for example, work at night. Okay, they have to work like in the office from 9 to 5. Okay, just an example. They start work at 8 and they stop working at 9. How do they control it? Well, the moment you log in, the central computer says, okay, Fulano has logged in, so he has started working. And then they follow your process, understand? If you're doing your things or not. But without control, without policies, don't confuse with police. That's another big problem for Brazilians. So, police and policy. The plural here is policies, and here is police. It's plural, okay? Remember that when you use police, for example, the verb, the police are coming. The verb is always plural. This is a classical mistake for people that have to do proficiency tests because they think in Portuguese and they say the police is coming. It's wrong. Police is plural, so they are coming. Okay? Police and policy. Policy is the rules, the guidelines of a company, the policy of the company. Okay? And has nothing to do with politics. Politics. Okay?
Roberto, one policy and two policy is the same. One policy and two policy. The plural.
You talk about the policy or the police?
Police. One
Okay.
police, two police, yeah?
No. You say
Are
one,
always
one, police is plural. One police.
Police.
Officer, two police
Officers.
police officers.
Thank you. Very
Many,
important.
yes, police
Officers.
officers. This is countable.
Okay.
Or you can say a policeman, or a policeman.
Yes.
But police is plural and it's unchangeable. Understand?
Okay, thank you.
And the biggest confusions are police, policy, and politics. Okay? I don't know if somebody's talking to me or just background sounds. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, Eric, can you read this part for me, please? Once such a program
has been put in place, it is essential that it be actively monitored. Analysts urge business owners and managers to maintain open lines of communication with teleworkers so that problems can be
I think
addressed
I don't.
in an active manner.
We cannot hear anything.
Yes.
yes.
There
I don't know.
are other
I
people,
think it's
other
Patricia
person.
audio that is on.
Let me see if I can do. I don't know where this background sound is coming from.
Yes.
I think that.
I don't know.
It's
Let me
Patricia.
try.
Patricia.
Is it?
Yes.
She
Patricia.
turned off now.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, what a silence.
Yeah.
What a difference
No
it
dog, no
makes.
people, no talk,
Yeah.
no dog.
Okay, good. Eric, I'm sorry, but your
Repeat.
reading was okay, but there was so much background sound that I was going crazy here. Dogs barking, children. Nobody was able to listen to you. Can you read again? Once such a program has been put in place,
It is essential that it be actively monitored.
monitored.
Analysts urge business owners and managers to maintain open lines of communication with teleworkers so that problems can be addressed in a timely manner.
Okay, can be addressed. Do you understand this expression? In a timely manner. Okay, means yes, as soon as possible. Okay. At the moment it is necessary. Okay, because if you don't have a line of communication with the teleworkers, how can you solve a problem? Okay.
Okay.
Regina, can you read this last part for us, please? Finally,
Business owners and managers need to recognize that some employees are better suited than others
to thrive.
others to thrive in a telecommuting program. Prospective workers should be self-motivated, self-disciplined, and possessed of good problem-solving skills and communication skills, both writing and verbal.
Written and verbal.
Both written
and verbal.
They should also have a home environment which will enable them to maintain or exceed the levels of productivity they attain in an office setting.
This part is probably the most important, okay? Not every employee is okay to be a telecommuter. Because if the guy is not self-disciplined, okay, if he's not self-motivated, the guy is going to be a disaster, okay? He's not going to get up in time, okay, because he knows he doesn't have to go to work, okay? And he's not going to be able to solve the problems because at work, he always needed or counted on his workmates to help him. Understand? Yes. And also, imagine a guy that has 4 or 5 children at home. How can he work?
A nightmare.
Yes, exactly.
Impossible.
Okay? Yes, for example, I can do it in a, let's say, in an appropriate manner because I don't have any children to disturb me. I'm not saying that my wife would disturb me, but I don't even have a wife to ask me to do things. No. At least for some time until the situation is not out of control in Brazil anymore. Who knows how long that's gonna last. But anyway, when you are home and you have people home, they always interfere, even if they don't want to interfere, okay?
Yes.
Like, dinner's ready, lunch is ready. Okay, here I have lunch when I have time. Sometimes I have lunch at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I have lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. I have lunch when I have time to have lunch, not when the lunch is ready. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes. When you are ready.
No, when I have time. I don't depend on anyone. And that's what they are trying to say. I can keep up my level of productivity because I don't have any external interference. Understand? Just for you guys to have an idea, I have to give about 43, 44, sometimes 45 classes per week. For each class, I need at least 30, 40 minutes to prepare the material, to correct the exercise. So we are talking about 90 hours of work per week.
Wow.
That's much more than working in an office.
Yes.
Office, you work 40 hours a week.
44 hours a week.
Exactly. I'm working double.
Yeah.
Teacher always worked.
Double.
Teachers always work, yeah. But the
always
salary
work
is
home office, always.
Yeah, but the
Not
salary
now in quarantine.
But the salary is just one. It's not the number.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teacher is
And let the billionaire know this. Okay. No, but it's funny because yesterday my wife wanted to talk to me, and I told her, I'm sorry, I can only talk to you after a certain time. And she said, what do you mean you can only talk to me after a certain time? I said, I have some classes to give. She said, today's Sunday. I said, yes, exactly. Today's Sunday, but I have some classes to give. I have some students that work during the week, and the only time they have available is Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, I told everyone, I'm not going to give class to anyone. Okay? But on Sunday, I
But it
was home.
happens.
Oh no, usually I give class on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Okay?
Sunday, it's a
Teacher.
normal day, yeah.
But you
Yes.
have to prepare the classes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Prepare
work
the
too.
class.
The
Yes.
same day, this Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
Yes, usually when you get the material on Monday, it's because it was done on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So today I didn't need to send you the material. Some students sent me email saying, teacher, where is the material? We don't need a new material yet, but tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you will need and you will get a new material, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have material
Teacher.
yet.
Yes.
Teacher, another thing that I believe is more interesting is when you don't is more effective during the day. In my case, I work tonight. I work
Tonight,
in the evening. Or
Some people produce better during the night.
yes.
yes,
Yes,
in my
yes.
case, is
Like
great.
this?
Yes.
Yeah, I once had a guy that worked for me, okay? He was in charge of the IT in my company. And it was very funny. He would go there in the morning just to talk to me, okay? But for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I would be able to see his face. And then I remember telling him, Antonio, I need you to prepare this, and this. Okay. I'll just get some coffee. And then he would disappear. I wouldn't see him for the rest of the day. And then I would ask, where's Antonio? I don't know. He said he was going out for some coffee. He never returned. And he totally disappeared. But what happened? The next day, I would go to the office. I would log into my computer and bing, everything was there.
Yeah.
He never
It's true.
failed. He was always like this. So he would work all night long. Then he would go to the office to talk to me to see if everything was okay and would go home to sleep. Understand?
Oh,
So he was, in English, there's an expression. He always worked the graveyard shift. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Oh,
No.
No.
I don't.
Graveyard shift. Yes. Graveyard is the cemetery. Okay. He always
Oh
worked
my God.
cemetery shift. Yes. Okay. Yes. It's when you work during the night. Understand? Like
Like a
Dracula.
coruja.
A Dracula.
Dracula.
Coruja is owl. Owl.
Owl?
Owl.
Like owl.
Yeah. Owl. Owl. Okay.
I thought it was on.
It's owl. Yes. Yeah. Or you're confused with owl.
Owl.
Have you seen the little
Yes.
video that I put on Telegram?
Terrible.
I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
By yourself.
Roar, 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 roar.
Our is or. The guy was very creative, I can tell you.
Yes.
He was
Don't understand nothing.
What he did is he found words that have almost the same sound.
The same
okay?
sound.
Yes.
Yes, like minério de ferro is or. Okay? Remo is or. Okay? Then we have hour. Okay? And I don't remember all the words. So he said hour, or. Okay?
O-R.
The other day I laughed a lot with Carolina. Carolina was, and she said she recognized herself in that because she was having a problem with warm, and warm.
Yeah.
And she was, oh, I was just like the guy. Or. She was war. Okay, very good. Well, now it's time. We have done a lot of reading. So now it's time to do it. Of course, as you know, I always try to find a passage that is connected to the article. Okay, so there is an interesting passage. It's called Walking Around Town. As you can see, there is a photograph from
Central Park.
Manhattan, Central Park in New York.
Yeah,
Yes.
Probably taken from the Rockefeller Center. by the
probably,
angle,
yeah.
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
from the roof.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
That's the only place you have a view like this.
yes.
This area here on your right-hand side is very interesting to observe. You see, if you look here where the mouse is, you don't have tall buildings, and here you have a lot of tall buildings, because in this area is Harlem. This area is the west side, okay? So here's a good area here. Now it's okay, but used to be a very bad neighborhood, the Harlem, okay?
Harlem.
Yeah,
Yes.
Harlem.
Now, yes, now there are some tall buildings, but not any skyscraper like you have on the other side, okay? So what are we going to do? As usual, I'm going to play the passage for you. I'd like you to listen only, don't work, don't follow, even if you have the material. I know that many of you have the material, but don't look. It's time to listen, listen only. Okay? Teacher, but I have already read. Okay, good for you. Now it's time to listen. I want you to listen, try to understand the words, okay? Try to identify walking around town. Because this part of the class is the listening part, okay? So, let me know if the sound is clear, okay? If the sound is clear, just say, yeah, good, I can hear it. Just send me a smoke signal, whatever you want.
Walking Around Town by Michael Stahl.
Okay?
It was a light, spring Sunday
Okay.
in Brooklyn, New York. Doug and his wife, Eve, were enjoying it with their copy of the Sunday New York Times newspaper, which they would pleasingly read section by section over a hearty breakfast of eggs, bacon, and, of course, some warm and soft New York City bagels. Both Doug and Eve were hard-working people, having to commute by subway throughout the week into different parts of their neighboring borough of Manhattan where both of their offices were located. Therefore, they usually took full advantage of their days off by lounging around their apartment, reading and watching television. This was especially true throughout the winter, when temperatures were too cold and the skies too cloudy in New York to make Doug and Eve leave their place if they did not absolutely have to. They could rest and recover from their long work week indoors, away from the snow and chilly temperatures, just as well as they could outside, and probably even better so. However, this was the first clear and relatively warm day of the year that Doug and Eve could go outside and enjoy wholeheartedly, without having to bundle up and pile on layers of clothing. Eve became anxious as the morning neared a close and the afternoon came upon them. She desperately wanted to go outside exploring and snap photos with her brand new digital camera, which she had bought just the day before. She was worried that Doug would not be up for such a trip and he would give the excuse that he was too tired. Eve was also hoping she could coax Doug into becoming a little more enthusiastic about photography himself, so they could plan fun photo excursions together. After all, they lived in one of the 5 boroughs of the city of New York, which ranks among one of the biggest cities in the world, and is overflowing with countless images worth capturing on a camera. Eve really loved photographing the city, though she would not take as many photos in the frigid winter time, and thought getting Doug into it too would give them an excuse to have some extra fun time together. Doug, Eve began a little tenderly and nervously. How about we head into the city today? New Yorkers tend to refer to Manhattan as the city, even if they already are residents of the 5 boroughs, because the island is really its epicenter. What for? Asked Doug, sipping his juice with a puzzled look on his face. Eve sighed. She was wishing for the conversation to go more smoothly. Well, I'd like to take some photos today. It's beautiful outside. And I thought you'd like to come along, she said. Doug replied with a simple "oh." He folded his paper and put it down without much of an expression. Eve didn't know how to react to that. Then, Doug got up and left the room, making Eve wonder what in the world that meant. Did he want to go? Was he angry at the request? What are you doing? She asked him, projecting her voice down the hall. I'll be right there, he said. After a moment, Eve heard Doug's footsteps re-entering their little dining room. She looked up and saw him smiling, holding 2 cameras, her brand new one and the other one he had secretly bought for himself as well. Doug and Eve left their apartment and began walking the pavement toward the subway stop they were very familiar with, looking forward to their day of photographing the wonderful sights of New York City. What they, like most New Yorkers and city dwellers around the world, probably did not even realize, is they were going to observe all the highlights while being part of a tremendous ecosystem. People usually think of an ecosystem as something much more natural than a city with incredibly tall, man-made buildings on top of concrete that run parallel to streets with zipping vehicles spewing toxic carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. Typically, the ocean comes to mind as an example of an ecosystem, or the rainforests of South America, while the African deserts could be another. However, an ecosystem is simply defined as a community filled with living and non-living organisms that interact with each other within a particular environment. And an urban ecosystem is actually the one ecosystem that human beings are in fact most familiar with, while it is also arguably the only ecosystem in the world that is growing. Like they usually do on Mondays through Fridays when traveling to and from their jobs, Doug and Eve decided to take a local subway line from their home in Brooklyn to the island of Manhattan to enjoy their Sunday. New York City has a massive subway system that helps people get around. The trains travel above and below ground, over bridges and through tunnels. These electrical behemoths are vital parts of the city's ecosystem, for they, in effect, help people survive a bit easier than if the trains did not exist. Human beings are incredibly social creatures. In other words, they naturally desire communication and companionship with other people. The city's subways allow that to happen with much more freedom and ease, not to mention the quicker pace that is possible compared to the alternatives of a horse and buggy or walking. Furthermore, the subways help individuals get to their jobs, allowing them and other people to be productive. Necessary goods, such as food and supplies, become more easily available to people with better transportation. Plus, important services like medical treatment and education can be more easily taken advantage of. Both Doug and Eve took some last-minute photos of the incredible Manhattan skyline through the windows of the subway car before it headed underground, into a tunnel, and through the East River into the subterranean depths of Manhattan. When Eve and Doug walked upstairs from the subway station onto a Manhattan sidewalk, the first thing they saw were tremendous skyscrapers standing thousands of feet high. The island of Manhattan is littered with hundreds of huge buildings that have become world famous for, not just their height, but also for their recognizable architecture and symbolism of mankind's never-ending desire to create. Doug and Eve immediately reached for their cameras and started taking some photos of buildings like the Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower and the Chrysler Building. Many of these skyscrapers are essentially incredibly large office spaces. Therefore, the buildings serve a vital function in the ecosystem in that they house many people throughout the day, while they are working on any number of projects that could help others. A large percentage of these buildings are also homes to restaurants and eateries where people not only enjoy plenty of available nourishing food, but commiserate with each other as well. One of the drawbacks of so many skyscrapers is that it creates shade. This might sound like a positive, and it partially is because it gives people relief from the hot rays of the sun. However, too little exposure to the sun is not a good thing either. The sun is blocked so often from New York residents by those buildings that people are not getting enough vitamin D into their bodies, because the sun's rays help build the levels of vitamin D. Still, it is important to recognize that these buildings of Manhattan are, in some ways, as natural a thing as an anthill or a bird's nest. First of all, human beings, who are undoubtedly a part of nature, have built them, and they have been built by raw materials taken up from the planet's resources. Certainly, soil has been covered by concrete and iron, but there are plenty of places in nature where there is no rich soil, like Antarctica, for instance. The previously hilly island that had thousands of trees on it has simply been exchanged for an urban ecosystem containing different things that serve the same function as many others that are called more natural. In addition, skyscrapers still must be built with respect to many laws of nature. An elite architect along with the construction crew cannot simply erect a building that stretches to an infinite height. The effects of gravity, wind, and, yes, the density of soil still within the earth of Manhattan, must be considered in the planning and construction of a building. Eve knew that if she was going to have a successful day of photography, she and her husband would have to take a trip to Central Park. Central Park is located in the middle of Manhattan and takes up quite a chunk of land. It includes a couple of ponds, hundreds of trees, large grassy areas, rocky parts, and trails for urban hiking. Many species of animals call Central Park home, too. For some of them, it may be the only place within New York City where they can actually survive. Central Park was constructed because city planners knew that New Yorkers would need a getaway location, a place where they could reconnect with nature, or at least the parts of it that are more traditionally considered natural. It is still certainly the case that New Yorkers need this outlet, which explains why Central Park still exists today as the price of local real estate has only increased over the years. Parks like this one soften the urban experience, giving locals a place to relax and engage in important recreational activities. Many scientists note that, though cities are ecosystems and a growing part of nature, the loss of greenery is a severe problem that needs to change. The urban planners of today are becoming more sensitive to this by making sure to include parks, taking a page out of the books of those who helped create Central Park as they continue to build new cities and expand upon those that have already been founded. Doug and Eve strolled around the park for quite a while. They took tons of photos, ate lunch together, and even rode the famous merry-go-round. They were truly taking advantage of the pleasures allowed by the existence of such an incredible and unique location. When Doug and Eve left Central Park, they began to chat about all of the noise in the city and the overflowing garbage cans that were seemingly on every block. These are common complaints made by many about the urban ecosystem, and might be more noticeable just after leaving such a beautiful place. Though they are considered to be large negatives of urban life, it is nearly impossible for noise pollution and garbage to be avoided. Noise pollution is a byproduct of the large population and all of the transportation needed to get them around. Without such transportation, humans would not be able to live, prosper, and interact as effectively. Many people would rather not think about the existence of bugs, rats and other organisms that can live off of garbage, but they too are part of the ecosystem and would not be able to survive as easily in many other parts of the world. Doug and Eve took the same subway back to their home in Brooklyn. Tired from a long day of walking around the city, they kicked off their shoes and sat on the couch in preparation for a nice movie viewing. The film was a documentary about living in the backwoods of Montana, enjoying life in a forest's ecosystem. Doug and Eve thought about vacationing there, inspired by their afternoon in Central Park, wanting to be closer to some more nature. They didn't even stop to think that they had both been active participants in an urban ecosystem, a particularly unique part of nature, over the course of the entire day.
Long. But
Very long.
did you pay attention to something? I was very selective when I chose this passage, because in a certain way, it covers most vocabulary that we have been discussing in the past 4 weeks. Ecosystem, soil depletion, understand? The only difference is that it has garbage, trash, environment. Yes. It's interesting because telecommuting at the beginning. Okay. So I wanted to see if you would be able to identify words that we have already discussed previously. And they are all together. The only difference is now we are going to be discussing a city ecosystem, urban ecosystem, understand? That is New York, all right?
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow we will be listening again, but this time we will be able to see the passage and you will be amazed at the number of words we have discussed in the past 4 weeks. Okay? It's all together in just one passage.
Okay.
All right?
All
I'll
right.
see you guys tomorrow at the same time. And there is no need for material for tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna be using this one. Thank you. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye now.
See you everyone tomorrow.
Tomorrow, teacher. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.